Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hooman Stadium Series number 1 and the very first show of the fall slash winter slash summer slash I don't know tour. Just the tour for now, I guess. But yeah, let's see what happens. We have 2 tours, both of them are Stadium Series, and this is Stadium Series number 1. Now they are taking on Anaheim, this lovely track here in Angel Stadium. All right. Today in racing, we have SoCal style, and we did have practice the day before yesterday, or not. Yeah, we had practice yesterday where we figured out who would be in the bracket. So your first race will be Alex Barton and Velociraptor up against Colt Stevens and Blue Thunder. Thunder Orange was not loading in properly, so I swapped it out for Blue Thunder. And you know, everyone loves Blue Thunder, so excited for that. Also, your fastest qualifier yesterday was Ken Murphy in Power Rush. He got a 21.120 in practice. So he gets a first round bye along with Fernando Martinez, Adam Anderson, and who else? I don't remember who else. So, yeah. My lighting is fixed because this track was actually fixed. They specifically, the guy who made this track reworked it for the update. All right, let's see what time Alex Barton can get. All right, Alex Barton and Velociraptor coming off the first turn. The other lane did have the faster times generally, from what I was able to gather. Alex qualified better than Colt Stevens, but he does look to be having a little bit of struggles. One of only 2 independent drivers on this tour, along with Tim Hall Jr. And he does not get a time. Something happened, something messed up, which means we redo the race. This happened to me a few times during practice, but yeah. All right. So y'all got a little bit of a taste for the track, but yeah. We will see what Alex Barton can do. He is lining up. All right, and now he is back. He did get a little taste for the track. All right, going fairly well into the first turn. Also, hello to everyone in chat. Sorry, I will respond to the messages once this race is done, or the first passes at least. And Alex with a flawless final turn, and it's still not working. What is happening? Ashton, I'll look at the lineup, in a bit. Like, maybe after stream. Alright. We're gonna try this one more time. If not, we're gonna do it the manual way. Brutus is not on Toro because there is no Brutus for the Beam Monster Impact. Alright, let's see if this works now. Alright, if this does not work, then I will be going back to manually timing, which we did all of the Path to Destruction tour, so it's not that bad. Alright, Alex Barton. Potentially his final pass if it decides to work. And they finally get a time of 21.82. So 21.82, that is your time to beat. All right, that is a fairly good time on this track. All right, going to get Colt Stevens out to the track. Also, everyone tell me if the audio is too good or anything like that. Or too bad or anything like that. Like, I don't know how loud the game is compared to me. I changed my mods a little, so yeah. Alright, and next up, we have, 1 second, Colt Stevens and Blue Thunder. Colt Stevens coming out to the track. Alright, Matthew, no worries. You can come back whenever you'd like. But yeah, have fun having dinner. Alright, we're gonna... Colt Stevens getting lined up, time to beat 21.820, but of course this is a race, so he has no clue. Alright, lined up at the starting line. And we go green. Both drivers are fairly underrated racers. Cole in the better lane, though. Granted, he did still qualify slower than Alex did in practice. All right, a bit of a better turn for the second one. And going into the final turn, 22.380, 22.380. That does mean your winner moving on to round 2 to face Kansan Murphy in Power Rush will be Alex Barton. 22.380. Boom. That goes down as his time. And now Colt Stevens is out. And he gets 1 point for losing round 1. Now we're going to move on to our second race. I will say racing is going to take a lot longer than usual because of this. So yeah. But you know what? Who cares? We like racing. Do we like racing, chat? All right. Got to get the next driver out. All right. Next driver out, we have Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack. Let's see what Tim can do. All right. Moving on. Tim Hall Jr. just watched Alex Barton get the win. Now we have Tim Hall Jr. versus Kristen Anderson. Tim did qualify just out of getting by. He got 5th place in qualifying, doing very well. Kristen Anderson got dead last. Only driver to have a qualifying time in the 23 seconds. But you know what? She's going to try and change that here today. Tim Hall Jr. driving the Stars and Stripes Jurassic Attack. A very cool looking scheme. And going into the final turn. And Tim probably going to have to redo. Oh no, 22.430. It did not make him redo it, but some reason Alex had to. All right, so 22.430. That is our slowest time of the show, 22.43. All right. Going to get Kristen Anderson out now. All right, now Kristen Anderson, I will say, after watching... Whoa, all right. Y'all did not need to see all the behind-the-scenes Google Doc. I have a whole system. All right, anyways, next up we have Kristen Anderson. Great, dude. Let's see what she can do. All right, she is getting lined up. Time to beat 22.43, but then again, like I said earlier, she has no clue because this is an actual race. All right, Kristen. Kristen driving the Gravedigger Grandma. Hoping that gives her some extra luck. Going down the straightaway. A very nice final turn. Can she take the win? And a 23.140. 23.140. Just barely. That will not get her the win. 23.140 for Kristen Anderson. That does mean Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack will move on. And he will move on to face Adam Anderson. Oh, Corey Rummel. No, Corey Rummel wasn't the guy who got the... Oh, Tristan England also got the bye. That's who it was from earlier. All right. Well, Kristen Anderson gets 1 point added to her series total. Somehow I didn't see any of y'all's messages until just now. They all just showed up. So that's not fun. All right, next up we have Jamie Sullivan in Sparkle Smash versus Brianna Mahan in Whiplash. Both did fairly well. Jamie Sullivan, though, got second to last. It was very competitive qualifying. But Brianna Mahan got 6th place in qualifying. She did very well overall. Very happy for her. But let's see what Jamie Sullivan can do in Sparkle Smash. She will be technically racing first, but y'all know what that means. The reason Turtle was removed was because Dalton Widener was originally supposed to be on this tour, but we had to move him out because Vendetta was not spawning in, and those two are teammate trucks, so it would make no sense for one to be there and one to not. So yeah. Also, Dalton Widener did leave Team Throttle, so yeah. All right, Jamie Sullivan had a very good second pass in qualifying. Her first pass was not that good. All right. And she's going to fall over. We did have a lot of that in practice yesterday. A lot of drivers were slipping in those final turns. All right. Jamie Sullivan going to have to... Yeah, 32.630. Yeah, Brianna Mahan should have a fairly easy path to victory. All right, 32.63. All right. Next up, we are going to have Brianna Mahan and Whiplash. Brianna did have a fairly good qualifying time, you know. She is a very underrated racer. Don't remember, I think it was like a 22.690 or 22.910. That's what I think it was. All right. Next up, we have Brianna Mahan. Oh my lord, y'all aren't supposed to see that again. I keep forgetting. Your birthday was on 26th of July. Happy belated birthday, Matthew. Hope you had a good birthday. What happened yesterday? All right, never mind. I'm not gonna ask questions. All right, let's see what Brianna Mahan can do. She has to beat a time of 32, but of course she doesn't know that because, like I said, yeah. All right, she's lined up with the starting lights. All right, and we go green. All right, going across the first turn. Staying very close. Oh, Brianna gonna go over. Jamie Sullivan, with a 32-second time, moves on to round 2. Brianna Mahan gets a DNF in Whiplash. And she gets 1 point added to her series total. Meanwhile, Jamie Sullivan is moving on to face Tristan England. Whoa, a shakeup. No one was expecting that. Anyways, now we get into our final race of the show. We have Bailey Circuit with Corey Rummel up against Megalodon Stars and Stripes with Brandon Arthur. Hello, the Albanese, and hello, Autumn Winch 1428. We got 2 new people in chat. Everyone, say hello to them. School for me starts next Monday. All right. Anyways, next up, Corey Rummel. You know what? We'll have a turtle encore at some point. We can do that. Not this show. I already have an encore idea for this show. But yeah, we can do that at some point. Don't worry. All right, Corey Rummel's lined up. He had a fairly good qualifying pass. Was in the lower half of the qualifying passes, but still a fairly good one. If I'm remembering correctly, was 8th or 9th. Oh, not gonna start that turn a little too late. Brendan Arthur, one of the best racers on the tour. He got 7th in qualifying, I believe. So, I mean... No, I think he got 8th, actually. Yeah. All right, 21.84. Pretty good time for Corey Rummel. 21.84. I will say, the race with the ladies is going to be very difficult for everyone. But yeah. If you record Sunrise, Florida, show 1, absolutely. I'll do a commentary on it, so yeah. You start school tomorrow. I was supposed to start school tomorrow, but we didn't. I don't know why, but we didn't. So yeah. Anyways, next up, we're gonna get our next driver. Wait, did I put down that time? Corey Rummel, yes. You started in September. All right, To be fair, you start on September 3rd, but that means that your school like ends later. Oh my lord, y'all aren't supposed to be seeing that. Ah. All right. Anyways, Brandon Arthur, Megalodon, Stars and Stripes. Excited to. Oh, he's in the wrong lane. Brandon Arthur, buddy, what you doing? All right, Brandon Arthur going to the correct lane now. All right, he has to get restaged. He overstaged. Brandon Arthur slowing us down a little bit. All right. Now he's slowly pulling up. And he is pulled up to the line. Let's see what he can get. Now, Brandon Arthur did very well in qualifying, but to be fair, a lot of drivers did very well. It surprised me with how well everyone did. Kristen Anderson was the only one who didn't do too well, but she still did fairly well for an arena driver. And, oh, 21.84, 22.96. That does mean Corey Rummel will move on. 22.96, not the best time. All right, that means he does get 1 point. And Corey Rummel moving on to round 2. All right, everyone. Now we are in round 2. You've just seen 4 drivers go and move on, and now we see 4 new drivers enter the bracket. Granted, it was the top 4 from practice yesterday, so they did earn their way here. So let's start us off. Coming out first, we have, oh my lord. Coming out first, we have Camden Murphy and Power Rush. Almost like Classroom Crusher. So used to saying it. But Camden Murphy going up. He is on the tabletop. Going up against Alex Barden in this race. He had a very good time. His first pass in practice was terrible. It was about 27 seconds. I do believe he almost rolled over. But he did save it with his second one and got the fastest pass of anyone. And is now looking to do the same, but he's going over. And Power Rush's first show on Hooman's Stadium Series goes over. All right. So he gets a DNF. He is the second driver to fall over tonight. That is insane. You know, in practice, we had a few drivers fall over, but not this many. How can a baby run away? A baby cannot run away from you. It might be able to crawl away from you, but I don't get this. All right. Now, Alex. Oh my lord! I keep forgetting. Whatever. I have heard rumors about what's getting added next Beam Chassis Pack, but to be quite frank, I've forgotten all of them. So yeah. All right, Alex Barden pulling up to the line. All right, and he is locked and ready to go. All right, Alex gonna try and take this turn as tightly as possible. All right, Alex did very well in practice. Not as well as he would have hoped. I think he got like 9th. Oh, not doing too well right there. All right, no, he got, no, I don't know. He got 8th and 9th. Brandon got 7th. All right, I'm remembering slowly. All right, 22.64, 22.640. That means Alex Barden is moving on into the next race. So yeah. He will get 5 points added to his series total because he is in round 2. Next up, we will have Jurassic Attack with Tim Hall Jr. versus Adam Anderson. Oh my lord. Y'all got to see all that. Anyways, versus Adam Anderson in Gravedigger the Legend. All right, everyone. Y'all just saw all of that. Y'all got to see all of my little stuff. All right. All right. Next up, we have Tim Hall Jr. He's pulled up to the starting line. And he is off. All right, Tim Hall Jr. An arena driver. If he wins, then we will have a throttle monster guaranteed to be in the final round. But, you know, he's going up against tough competition, not top comp. Well, yeah, tough competition. All right, and your time is a 22.20. 22 point. Oh, no, was it 22 point? Yeah, 22.22. All right. How did I come up with my name? I wanted to think of something that wasn't cringy and also didn't like say anything about me that could be personal. So I was like, what makes sense? And then I was like, Hooman. And I'm like, you know what? That also sounds kind of funny. And so you know what? From there, I was just like, you know what? We're gonna go with Hooman. So yeah, I came up with that. Not my original username. Only really old people know my former username, and I'm not gonna say it. So yeah. Maybe one day I'll repeat it for everyone to hear. All right, Adam Anderson accidentally overstaging, so he will restage. Had to beat 22.20. Granted, he doesn't know that. All right, he's lined up and he's ready to go. All right, lights are green. Adam Anderson was your 4th fastest qualifier. He was the slowest of the 4 to get first round buys. Granted, still very fast, of course. Faster than Tim Hall Jr., his opponent, but only barely. Tim was the guy who was the 5th fastest. Adam goes way too wide final turn. And Adam's not going to get a time, which means he is going to have to restage. We're going to restage Adam. He did not cross the finish line, I do believe. But granted, he did get both tires, so we are... Oh, his truck is leaning a little, actually. Alright. My old username was not Human. Or Human? Human. I don't like saying human. Anyways. I've said Hooman too often. But anyways. Alright. His truck was broken, it seemed a little, so we were going to put him back in. He reloaded. Alright. And the lights go green. Now, I will say he took the first however many turns better than Tim. It was just that final turn. And he's gonna... Oh, yeah, that's not gonna be helpful for him. $22.67. 22.67. That does mean Tim Hall Jr. moves on to the next round. All right. So far, our first round bye drivers are 0-2. All right. Next up, we have Jamie Sullivan and Sparkle Smash, who had the worst time of drivers to not fall over in round 1. She got a 32-second pass. Granted, only the 3rd slowest pass of the night. My favorite show, because of its closeness to my heart, will probably forever be World Finals 22. But if we're talking about, like, realistically, like, what I think the best show of all time is, I liked Houston 2015. Some 2015 or... Actually, maybe Tampa 2014. I love that one. But maybe some 2015 or 2016 show, probably. Alright. Jamie Sullivan getting lined up with... she's getting lined up. And she's lined up. She is staged. And green. Jamie Sullivan got a 22-second pass in practice for her fastest time. Gonna try and do that again. Alright, much better second turn. If I'm her, I'm staying very calm on this final turn. And it looks like she does. 23.580. Gonna give us a little two-wheel action. Alright, 23.580. You know what? At least she finished the race. Can't say that much about earlier. Alright, yeah, wait, chat, let's ask. Who do you all want, to win the Christmas Chaos? Do you want, oh my lord, I'm stupid. Do you want Team Green to win? Or do you want Team Red to win? World Final 16 I also love. That's very nostalgic for me. That's like one show I'd always watch as a kid. Alright, anyways, next up, your third fastest qualifier from yesterday. We have Tristan England, JCB Digatron. Alright, has to be 23.58. You want Team Blue to win? You know what? Fair. Alright. Alright. Team JCB. Not Team JCB. Whatever. JCB Digatron, Tristan England. He is ready to go. Oh, making a few mistakes. Never mind. That actually caused him to get a really tight turn right there. Maybe that was strategy. And an awesome final turn. Tristan England looks like he's going to the final round. 22.350. 22.35. That is an awesome pass. And that will move him on in to next round. Jamie Sullivan will get 5 points added to her series total, though, just for making it that far. Meanwhile, Tristan England's in the final, or semifinals. Alright. First driver with a first round bye to win. My favorite TV show, alright. If we're talking about TV, then yeah, World Finals 15 for sure. Oh! You meant TV show! Alright. Sorry, you meant TV show. I thought you were saying, like, show that's on TV. Alright. My favorite TV show is probably Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That will probably forever be my favorite TV show. Alright, next up we have Fernando Martinez in El Toro Loco Stars and Stripes. It'll be between him and Corey Rummel on who gets the final spot in the semifinals and who will go up against Tristan England. Fernando Martinez got the second fastest qualifying pass in practice yesterday. And he is staged. And waiting for the... Alright, it goes green. Alright, making a small mistake, going a little bit too tight. Awesome final turn, though. And it's not going to count, sadly. Alright, it does seem the truck is not tilting. So, he will be going right back without having to be respawned. Alright, Fernando is lined up and ready to go. Alright, very sudden green light. Was not prepared for that. Going very tight. Again, like Tristan England did. Alright, awesome job, though, right there. Going down the straightaway. Coming down the final turn. 22.02. That is a very good time. 22.02. Alright, that's where we put it. 22.02. Oh, wait, that's not where I put it. Whoops! Alright. Alright, your fastest... The driver who was the fastest of all the drivers to lay down a first-round pass was Alex Barden, which means Alex Barden, Corey Rummel, Fernando Martinez, and Tristan England, it's looking like, will be getting the first round buys at next show. Congrats to all of them. But we still have our final race to finish. All right, Corey Rummel, will he get the win? All right, if we're talking about animated, I can't say that, y'all. I can't get docs like that. We're just not gonna talk. All right. Anyways, final race. Corey Rummel, Bailey Circuit, has to beat a 22.02. His round one time was faster than that. He is the second fastest driver. He will get a round one bye. So, no, he's excited for that. All right, an awesome final turn for Corey Rummel. And Corey Rummel with a 21.940, making it to the final round, or the semifinals. All right, an awesome job. All right, Fernando Martinez will get 5 points, add to his series total. All right, everyone, now we are in the semifinals. We only have 3 races left to go. We have both of our semifinal rounds, and then, of course, our coveted very last round. I know all of you are super excited for this. And starting off our first round, we have both the independents on the tour, Alex Barden and Tim Hall Jr. Both of them are ready to battle it out on this track. All right. Tim Hall Jr. to get here took down in round 1 Kristen Anderson, and then in round 2 he took down Adam Anderson, taking down both the Andersons. Now he has to take on his own teammate Alex Barden, Velociraptor. All right, he's lined up, ready to go, and he starts off. We are guaranteed 1 Throttle Monster driver in the finals, but which one? We're going to find out now. All right, very good. Turn around that pod. Oh, a little bit too... Kept the rear steer on a little bit too long. Almost going over, but instead he's just going to gun it to the finish line. A 22.890. Going to get some two-wheel action. Second driver, both in that lane to get some two-wheel moves. So 22.89. 22.89. All right. Mike's Garage. I used to like Total Drama Island. I just don't care for it anymore. It's not bad, though. It's not... Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. All right. Now, we have Alex Barden in Velociraptor. He was the very first driver to come on out. And in round 1, he defeated Colt Stevens and Blue Thunder. And then, in the second round, he defeated... who did he? He defeated Camden Murphy in Power Rush. Granted, Power Rush did fall over in that second turn. All right. Alex trying to get the win now. Going on to the final round in racing. And lights are green. Oh, going way too tight on the first turn. Alex is going to have to make up a lot of time if he wants to get into the final round of racing. And he's going to... I think he might have just done that. 22.750. Somehow, despite crawling over the crush cars, Alex Barden moves on to the final round and is in your Hooman's Monster Jam Racing Finals. That is amazing for him. Absolutely stunning. I am shocked. That first turn was respectfully terrible. And somehow he was able to do it. All right. Next up, we have our second final round to find out who will face Alex Barden. And we have Tristan England and JCB Digatron, who got a round 1 bye after qualifying 3rd fastest, and then defeated Jamie Sullivan in the in the quarterfinals. And he is going up against Corey Rummel in Bailey Circuit. Corey Rummel has been one of the fastest drivers on this track today, up there with Alex Bard, and I think we could see a Alex Bard and Corey Rummel finale, but Tristan England is determined to stop that. Taking that final turn, or that second turn, very tight. And final turn, also very tight. Tristan England is not messing around. 21.620. That is one of the fastest times we've had counting during practice. That is stunning. I am impressed. All right. And our next up driver, everyone, let's stop arguing in chat. This is meant to be a fun place. But next up, we have Corey Rummel, Bailey Circuit, and round 1, he defeated... Who did he defeat in round 1? This is embarrassing. Oh, in round 1, he defeated Brandon Arthur in Megalodon Southern Stripes. And in round 2, who did he do? Oh, in round 2, he defeated Fernando Martinez. There. I remembered it. Let's see who he can defeat now. All right. Defeated 2 of the best racers on the tour. Can he defeat another? 21.690. Granted, he doesn't know that. Corey has been on fire in Anaheim. Final turn, clipping that turning pod a little bit. Is it enough, though? 21.510. Corey Rummel is moving on to your racing finals. All right, everyone. We have... I am not singing Uptown Funk right now, but I do love that song. Anyways, everyone, tell me in the comments who you think will win the final round race. It's between Corey Rummel in Bailey Circuit and Alex Barden in Velociraptor. All right. Now, Corey Rummel, recently joining Feldman Motorsports, driving the Bailey Circuit truck. And he is lined up at the final for the final one. All right, we'll sing eventually. I'll get singing eventually. All right, Corey Rummel, Bailey Circuit, getting lined up and staged. All right, he has to reverse. All right, Corey Rummel versus Alex Barden. This is going to be a very fun matchup. All right, Corey Rummel is set. All right. And Corey Rummel hitting the turning pod, not on purpose, I'm sure. Can he make up for that time, though, that he lost doing that? Gonna go a bit wide over there on the straightaway. Not really as much of a straightaway. Corey Rummel with all kinds of mistakes. But his final time, not gonna be recorded. Which means we have to redo it. Hello, Chris Kohler. With a K, of course. Alright. Alright, Corey Rummel's having to reverse. Seems that it did not count as racing time for some reason, which means he gets another go. Alright, and he is ready to go. Alright, first turn going a little bit too wide. Second turn going, honestly, perfectly. A little bit wobbly, I will admit. And then in the final turn, he started hiking up. Alright, 23.080. That is not that good of a time. Alright, we will see whether or not he got the win, though. Alright. 23.08. Alright, now where are my Alex Barden fans at? Alex Barden is in the final round. Alright. Let's see what he can do. Oh, no, I didn't mean to. Alright, I hope that didn't show up. Anyways, Devin Win... Or not Devin Winfield. Oh, Lord. I just saw the Velociraptor and was like, Devin Winfield. Anyways, Alex Barden. Velociraptor pulling up to the line. Alright, he's lined up. He's ready to go. And we go green. Alex Barden in the final round. Usually an arena driver. Made it to the final round of the LCQ this year, though. And then eventually got in once John Zimmer Jr. had to be swapped out. And Alex Barden, an awesome pass. That's going to be in the 21s. It's not counted. I don't know why. All right, so it looks like both drivers in the final round get a pass that wasn't counted, I guess. All right, well, not Dalton. Devin, not Devin. You know who I mean. Alex Barden getting lined up, getting to do his racing pass, and let's see what can happen. He's ready to go. All right. Lights are green. All right, a very good job. A little bit wide overall, but a 21.860. That means Alex Barden has taken the racing win here in Anaheim. The first win of Hooman's Monster Jam Stadium Series, which means he gets 12 points. All right, 12 points. For Velociraptors, Alex Barden. 11 points will go to Corey Rummel for making it to the final round. All right. Now we are going to be right back, which is my in OBS is this slide is called be right back. Well, it's BRB, but yeah. So now that we are going on, we have the skills challenge as the next competition, where each driver will get 2 attempts to do 2 maneuvers on 2 wheels. A lot of 2s. I know you are all excited. Oh my lord. I know that you are all excited for it. And yeah, let's get started. First driver coming up will be Blue Thunder, Colt Stevens. Also, friendly reminder before we get into 2-wheel skills, please like and subscribe because it makes me happy. Well, at least if you enjoy it. If you don't wanna, then yeah. But it would make me happy if you did. So yeah. Anyways, Colt Stevens and Blue Thunder. All right, let's see what Colt can do. He can do tons of different moves, but yeah. Colt Stevens lining up on the ramp. All right. Walking it. Got it a little bit sideways even. Oh, getting it on the side. Sadly, that will do it for Colt Stevens. Everyone get your scores locked in. He just got it on the side. Wasn't able. All right. Get your scores locked in for Colt Stevens in the chat. I do not have footage from old shows that I know of. All right, our next driver will be Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger. All right, scores from chat, 6.7 from Ashton, 2 from Aiden, 4.836 from Matthew. Unless we get any more scores, I will be dividing this. All right, unless we get any further scores, your score for Colt Stevens is a 5.506. 5.506. That is the score for Colt Stevens. We're going to put that down in my little note thingy. All right, everyone. Next up, why did that show up? All right, next up we have Gravedigger. grandma version specifically with Kristen Anderson in it. All right. Kristen Anderson lining up, doing a reverse popper. Ashton, I will look at your lineup when the event is over. Kristen walking up the step up. That is an awesome job. Moving those tires. Awesome view from up here. Moving those front tires. Great reverse popper for her. Walking it back down. Kristen Anderson is on fire here in Anaheim. All right, now she's going for the step-up ramp. Getting a moonwalk. All right, get those scores locked in for Kristen Anderson, Gravedigger Grandma. Overall, very good run. First move was absolutely stunning. And the second move, my lord, no one heard that, thankfully. The second move was not that bad. Weston is on Stadium Series number 2, Monster Jam Fan 8322. Do not worry. Weston's also on a Stadium Series. But yeah. So get your scores locked in for Kristen Anderson. Next driver up will be Brianna Mahan and Whiplash. All right. Overall, fairly good run from Kristen, all things considered. Scores from chat, 7.112 from Monster Jam Fan 8322. 7.5 from Aiden, plus an 8.254 from Matthew. All right. 1, 2. All right. We also have to add in a 7.6 from Scooterman. So now your scores is 7.958, 7.958. That is the run, or the score for Kristen Anderson. Let me type that down. All right, 7.958. That will take the lead away from Colt Stevens. All right, I need to, whatever. Next up, we have Brianna Mahan in Whiplash. Brianna, very good driver. Excited to see what she can do here in the two-wheel skills competition. All right, she's lining it up with the same ramp Kristen did. Getting a moonwalk off of it. Walking it a little bit further and getting a combo. Walking that wheelie across. All right, fairly good first move from Brianna Mahan. And a huge sky wheelie for her second move. Getting a stoppie and hitting the dumpsters. All right, 7.958 is the score to beat from Brianna Mahan. Get those scores locked in for Brianna. Or 7.958 is the score. Well, yeah, it's the score to beat for her. But let's get those scores locked in for Brianna Mahan as we get our next driver out. Next driver coming to the track will be Brandon Arthur in Megalodon. All right, in chat, score from Matthew is an 8.675. Score from Monster Fan 8322 is a 7.889. Score from Aiden is a 7.6. I had to read that a lot. Score. Oh wait, Monster Fan 8325 adjusted his score. That's what happened. 8.453. And then the score from Scooterman was a 7.393. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 scores. And your score for Brianna Mahan in Whiplash is an 8.315. 8.315. Oh, Ashton. Ashton didn't get his score, and so yeah, that counts. I was wanting to see if he was swapping his score or not. But 9.2. That means we divided by 5. Let's check all the other ones. All right. That ups the score a little bit to an 8.432. 8.432. It's because of the delay. That's why I didn't get your score. 8.432. Not a huge leap adding Ashton's score, but one nonetheless. All right, now next up we have Brandon Arthur, Megalodon Stars and Stripes. All right. Trying to get a wheelie combo. Brandon with a save that was completely unintentional. That Megalodon body is ready to come off. Oh my lord. Alright, and Brandon Arthur lining it up with the other pod. Going over. Yeah, it's a bit of really sad. Had a great first move. Second one just went too hard on the brakes, it seems. So get your scores locked in for Brandon Arthur. First move has got to count for something, though. Next driver up will be Camden Murphy in Classroom, in Power Rush. Yeah, pulling a Tyler. All right, 7.4 from Ashton, 6.4 from Aiden, 5.631, 5.4, 5.631 from Matthew, 5.4 from Scooterman. One, two, three. All right, we got 4 scores as of current. Unless we get any more. Your score. All right, we got another one from Mike. 8.3. All right. Divided by 5. Which means your score is a 6.913. 6.913. That is the score for Megalodon. 6.913. Oh, wait, no, wait. He changed it to a 7.5. 7.5. Your score is a 6.833. 6.833. All right. Now, everyone, we move on to our first driver who exited the bracket in the semifinals. 8.912 for Monster Fan 8322, which means we're going to add another score. 8.912. Just making sure you didn't score twice. All right. Yep. Didn't. All right. 7.037 is the score. 7.037, that is the score. Officially, we're closing scoring. 7.037 is the score. Did not mean to click whatever button I just clicked. Anyways, Camden Murphy Power Rush. He's up next. All right, everyone, feel the power, feel the rush. Camden Murphy fell over in round 1 of racing, currently at 5 points on the series. He is tied for 5th place, technically, on the series. Oh! Slammed reverse too hard. Alright, well, that's very disappointing, especially for the truck's debut show. Alright, well, give a round of applause, everyone. That's not what he wanted to do. Just slammed it too hard in reverse. Yeah, that's annoying. I feel bad. Alright. A 2.313, a 3.5, a 2.4, a 3.7, a 2.3, and then the lowest that we go is 0, so Aiden gets his 0 in there. I feel the power and I feel the rush, don't worry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, that makes up for 6 scores, 3.984. 3.984, that is the score for Camden Murphy Power Rush. Alright, next driver. I keep forgetting to close this. Anyways, next driver, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. Excited to see what he can do. Alright, lining it up with the slap wheelie ramp. Nice little slap wheelie. Second slap wheelie. Trying to twist it. Not really getting it, but very good job. Alright, Gravedigger the Legend. Getting lined up. Because we're going to see our first bicycle of the show. Alright, not going to get it. That's very annoying. I was going to let him retry it, but I'm like, you know what? No, we can't do that. That's not fair. So, very good first move. Second move did let it down, though. Didn't really give it as much push as he should have, probably. So, get those scores locked in for Adam Anderson. Kind of basing it off one move. Score to beat, still an 8.432 from Brianna Mahan. She just had 2 very consistent moves. Not necessarily the best moves, but of course not the worst. Or else she wouldn't be in the lead. No, I hate to say it, but that he can't. That I'm sorry. He doesn't get a chance to try again. If we were doing the one move thing, then maybe I'd let him, but we're not. No, if we were doing the one move thing, I definitely would have. All right, 7.9, 6.4, 4.342, 7.224. Oop. All right, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 scores. All right, 4 scores from chat. All right, your score for Adam Anderson is a 6.233. 6.233. All right, next driver up, Jamie Sullivan in Sparkle Smash. All right, Jamie Sullivan. Gonna line it up. So far, every driver that has done a move off of this exact ramp has fallen over. Will Jamie be the first to overcome it? Let's find out. All right, technically getting the combo. And another combo. All right. That is her first move. Oh, gonna do a Camden Murphy. All right, get those scores locked. Why did I say locked you? Locked in. What was that noise? Anyways, get those scores locked in, I guess. Yeah, beam chassis pack is much easier to do a Tyler on. .211, 5.8, 3.2, 1.0. Oh, 1.0 and a 3. Oh no, I already have the 1.0. All right. I am close to 450. Hoping we get there soon. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, sorry. I had to add the scores. All right, 4.451. That is the score for Jamie Sullivan in Sparkle Smash. Honestly, if I'm a driver here, 2 wheelies and then I'm out. All right, next up. Fernando Martinez. Gonna try and not fall over like we've had so many do. All right, worst excuse for a combo since Nick Pagliarulo. All right, we're not gonna count that one. All right, never mind. I guess we. All right, there. All right, not really his best first move. I can understand that the dirt seems to be really tacky from what I can tell from everyone else just falling over. And Fernando gonna try a bicycle and not gonna get it. All right, that's it. All right, get those scores locked in. All right. Yeah, this is... A lot of drivers are not doing too well. Luckily, I think our next driver will be able to spice it up a little bit. Maybe take the lead away from Brianna Mahan. All right. .5, 2.946, 5.157. All right. 3 scores only. All right. Your score's a 3.651. 3.651, that is the score for Fernando Martinez. All right, next up. Oh, my lord. Keep needing to not kill him. Tim Hall Jr., Jurassic Attack. Tim Hall Jr. made it to all the way to the semifinals in racing before getting knocked out by his own teammate. Oh, nice little slap wheelie for Tim. Tim walking it all the way up. Walking it. No! Hello, Samantha. Y'all. No. He got so close to having a good move. So Samantha, we've had about 3 drivers, not fall over. Alright, next driver I think can do a good job. Hopefully that doesn't jinx them by me saying that, though. Ooh, shit. The new menu music is amazing. Alright. What score was that? I feel bad because everyone who's going out now is just getting terrible scores. Alright. Karen is not my name. Alright, if the score that we get is Ashton's and just that, it's a 3.500. 3.500 is the score for Tim Hall Jr. Watching Fan 2012 is right. It is a C because you can see right here it says C. All right. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. He's already over. We have 2 drivers left. All right. Chat, are we good with me just giving that a 1? Is anyone upset with me getting it a... Coleman. 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 Coleman, you're our lucky winner, I guess. Coleman, I don't know what to say. Coleman. Coleman, what? Where did you pull that from? It's right though, yeah. It's Calvin, I guess. I don't know what to say. 0.8 plus 2. All right. So your score's a 1.2. That's the score for JCB Digatron. That's really funny. All right. Hi, Samantha. Calvin Coolidge, thank you. Actually, I don't know how good of a politician he was. Maybe I shouldn't say thank you. All right, next up we have Corey Rummel. Hello, everyone. All right. Anyways, let's get guys. We gotta get back to business real quick. Corey Rummel and Bailey Circuit. Let's see what Corey can do. Corey Rummel walking it forward and backwards. Maybe the best move we've had all night. All right, everyone. Awesome first move for Corey Rummel. Tried for a little slap moonwalk. All right. Well, awesome first move. I don't know how to respond to that, Matthew, to be quite frank. But get those scores locked in for Corey Rummel. First driver, probably with the best move, honestly. But the question is, that second move, does that make up for not having a good first one? That is the question that y'all will have to answer in chat. We will see who gets the win. After this run, we will either have Brianna Mahan or Corey Rummel leading. And honestly, I think it could be a toss-up between either. I'll make you a moderator, Coleman. You gotta become moderator. How do I do that? Add as moderator. Standard moderator. Yeah, you're going as standard. Coleman, you get moderator for guessing it, I guess. Good. Your score is locked in chat. 8.737 is the only one I'm seeing. So unless we get a new one, 8.619. That is the score. 8.619, which means he is your new leader. 8.619. Corey Rummel just barely takes the lead away from Brianna Mahan. 8.619. And now, everyone, we have our final driver coming out to the track. Wait, what'd you score it, Samantha? Samantha, you didn't score it. Samantha, the only score I have is from Matthew and is an 8 point. Y'all are not guessing my last name. Y'all can swear, I guess. I don't care. Samantha, what was your score? Can you repeat it? Because last score I have, the only score I can see is Matthew 8.737. You haven't sent a single number in chat. You can just text it to me. You do not, Samantha. Alright, middle name y'all could probably guess. Alright, Samantha, I cannot see your score, so just, I don't know. Alright, Alex Barden coming out. Score to be 8.619 unless we somehow get Samantha's score. What in the world? Pirouetting, but that's not going to save him. An 8.657. Samantha, that's not a score. I hate to break it to you. All right, Alex Barden is over, which does mean Corey Rummel. Oh, I did not know there was a song called that, Samantha. You're very funny, Samantha. All right. Well, everyone, we are going to get the track loaded up for freestyle, which means we put a camper out. That has become the tradition of Hooman's Monster Jam Tour, is the camper. Calvin Klein, that is totally my name. Your score is a 4.591 for Alex Barden. 4.591. None of y'all were close. All right, 4.591. That is the score for Alex Barden. All right, everyone, we're going to tally. Well, we aren't. I'm going to tally up the points from the show so far. In last place in skills was Tristan England by a long shot with a 1.2. All right, we're going to add up all the scores. 1, 2 points for Tim Hall Jr., 3 points for Fernando Martinez, 4 points for Camden Murphy, 5 points for Jamie Sullivan, 6 points for Alex Barden, 7 points for Colt Stevens, your first driver to come out, 8 points for Adam Anderson, 9 points for Brandon Arthur. And then the only 3 drivers who didn't fall over and had 2 successful moves, Kristen Anderson with 10 points in skills competition. Brian Mahan with 11 points in the skills competition. And then your winner, Corey Rummel in the Bailey Circuit. Bailey Circuit taking home its first win on Hooman's Monster Jam Tour. Y'all are not going to get my middle name. I do not believe. All right. Anyways, all right. Chat, do we want Colt Stevens or Fernando Martinez to go first in freestyle? Please comment in chat who you want to go first. All right, whoever comments first between Colt Stevens or Fernando Martinez will decide who it is. All right, Fernando. Fernando goes first, it means. And then, all right, all right, the difference. All right, yeah, it took you guys like 3 streams though. 10. All right, the only other tie we have is, oh no, we have 2 more ties. All right, between Brandon Arthur and Jamie Sullivan, I need someone in chat to say one of them. And between Tim All Jr. and Kristen, I need someone in chat to say one of them. All right. We're going to get the camper out on the track, though. We're going to find a good spot for it. Don't worry. I would never put the camper anywhere that isn't perfect. So we're going to put it right here. All right, wait. If you guess your middle name, I don't really care about. If you can guess my last name, I will give you hundreds of dollars. Like, I'm being dead serious. No one's guessing my last name. Like, genuinely, like, my first name, I expected y'all to guess, like, after a few streams. Like, maybe, like, not as quickly as you did, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, y'all are not getting my last name, just to be quite frank. Alright. Setting up the camper right here. Gonna load it in. Alright. Now we gotta get Fern out first. Oh, did anyone say Jamie and then Kristen? Alright. Alright, getting both the ladies. Alright. F. Martinez. You don't know my last name. Calvin Hart. I am Kevin Hart. I hate to. Yeah, my last name's Calvin Pagliarulo, actually. You got me, guys. I'm one of the Pagliarulos. Woo! I just did a murder against my... Yeah, my last name's Calvin Granger. I hate to tell you. Alright. Samantha has no clue why y'all are saying these last names, and I guarantee it. Alright. How do I get to... Ashton, did you not? Where have you been, Ashton? No, it's Calvin Anderson. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Where in the... Alright, can someone... If someone tells me how to get to UIs, I genuinely will give you... If you can tell me how to get to UIs in the new update, you will get, whatever it is. You'll get, moderator. You'll get moderator if you can tell me how to. But if I get there first, y'all ain't getting nothing. That is true, Monster Jam Fan 2012. All right. I'm trying to figure out how to get to UIs. No, I don't need to know how to change UI. I need to know how to just get the UI. Click escape. I have clicked escape. Like, I need to get the UI for whatever it is. For timer. Click escape. Ah, whatever. All right. You know what? We're just gonna have a 2-minute timer on my phone. Who cares? You know what? We're not gonna go to the UI. All right, everyone. Let's get freestyle. All right, everyone. Starting us off is Fernando. All right, Fernando Martinez will be starting us off. All right, Fernando Martinez starting off with a nice jump right there. All right, 30 seconds down. I need the timer UI. All right, Fernando Martinez. Awesome jump right there. Fernando driving a little bit more cautiously, I think, after the skills challenge, because we saw drivers get absolutely wrecked. They were getting demolished. Oh! Yeah, hitting hard on the side. Saving it, though, Fernando Martinez with the first wow moment of the show, not counting two-wheel skill. First wow moment of freestyle, I guess. All right, with a leaning truck, he's going to go for a backflip. And he saves it! Consecutive backflip. Fernando Martinez. Oh, my lord, he is cooking. Can he save it again? Yes, he can! What is happening? This is the first freestyle of the tour. And he is making sure it's one to remember. 15 seconds remain for Fernando Martinez and El Toro Loco. All right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Smashing the camper for his final hurrah. All right. Get those scores locked in. Fernando Martinez. Oh, my lord. That was a wild freestyle. Get those scores locked in. All right, get those scores locked in. In chat, your score to beat. Currently, there is no score to beat. So, you know, little pressure on his shoulders. You got third place at the World Finals Freestyle Championship, which is not an easy feat. .25 plus 9.362. All right. What was I going to do? Hello. Not even going to try and pronounce your name. To be quite frank, yeah. Oh, Samantha. Oh, you're going to go. All right, bye, Samantha. Rip. All right, divided by 2. I love you too, Samantha. All right, divided by 2. And your score is a 9.303 for Fernando Martinez in El Toro Loco. Stars and Stripes. 9.303. That is just an awesome score, so it's going to take a lot to beat that. Next up, though, we have Colt Stevens in Blue Thunder. I almost said Brandon Arthur, and then I almost said... Oh, my lord! First jump, and he has just demolished the front end. He absolutely destroyed it. And he's still going, though, because this is Hooman's Monster Jam Tour. We don't care about the damage. All right, yeah, he's over. Leaving a minute 20 on the clock. Yeah, minute 20 seconds left. Get those scores locked in for Colt Stevens and Blue Thunder. All right. All right, everyone. Get your scores locked in chat. If I become rich, buy Monster from Feld, maybe. I don't know what else to say, but maybe. All right, score to beat 9.303. Definitely is not going to take that away, but you know what? It had a lot of chaos, even if it was just a really short run. 4.742. We're going to see if we get any more scores. Gonna wait just a little bit. All right, 1.1. That is a beautiful score from Ashton. All right, only 2 scores, unless we get any more. Your score is a 3.411. 3.411. Reminder, if you're not talking in chat, of course you can. But you have the ability to score if you're watching this. So, you know, if you're watching this and you're, like, shy or whatever, just comment. Or just, like, say your score. No, you don't gotta get interacted with. So, yeah. And to those who aren't scoring and talking in chat, I don't know, do whatever you want. I'm not gonna force you to score, but as long as we get, like, 1 score from chat, I'm happy. That's all that matters to me. All right, next up we have Camden Murphy and Power Rush. Power Rush has had a very underwhelming debut show, losing immediately after getting a round 1 bye. And then falling over on his first hit in 2-wheel skills. So coming out 3rd in freestyle, definitely not where he wanted to be, but you know what? It's decided based off overall event points and a little bit of fan interaction. So yeah. Coming out, gonna try and get a better freestyle than he has with every other competition. Showing some of his 2-wheel moves right there, getting a nice little stoppy. All right, turning right around. That is an awesome turn. All right. Turning the truck around. Going for a sky wheelie. All right, lining it up with the backflip ramp. Definitely think he's been a little bit conservative, but you know what? After the event he's had, I can understand that. And he's gonna get a consecutive backflip. No more conservative for Camden Murphy. He is just launching it. Oh my lord. Consecutive backflips. Second one of the show. We have only had consecutive backflips. There has not been a single backflip so far that wasn't a consecutive. And that is awesome for Camden Murphy. Camden is coming out here trying to get you fans happy and excited. A front flip? What? And he's over with 8 seconds to go. Great job. But, oh my lord, what? What was that? Camden Murphy, an awesome run. Don't even know he clipped the camper. Wow. 9.303 is the score to beat. Let's see. Does he take it? Camper, of course, being restaged. All right. That is an awesome freestyle. Only left 8 seconds left on the clock, as a reminder. All right, gonna get the scores in. 8.200 plus 7.89 plus 8.934. I think that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, those are 3 scores. We got 3 scores in chat. Reminder, you don't have to score if you don't want to. And if you want to, though, then please do. So your score is an 8.771. 8.771. That will put him in second place, Camden Murphy Power Rush. 8.771, I believe. That's. Yep. All right. Now we have Jamie Sullivan. Jamie Sullivan did very well on Hooman's Path to Destruction Tour, and especially well in this exact stadium, Anaheim, California. Final stop on the tour, and now first stop on this one. All right, Jamie Sullivan, one of only 6 drivers to be on both, or no, one of only maybe 5 actually. I don't remember. 5 or 6 drivers to be on both the Path to Destruction Tour and the regular season. All right, nice little send. Showing some of her 2-wheel technicality, turning the truck sideways. Very cool move. They should make it so it shoots confetti if you click the special effects button. That's what I'm saying. All right, Jamie Sullivan, so far, fairly good run, getting good air all around. Ooh, a little bit of a hard hit, but you know what? She recovers from it very well. All right, a save! Jamie Sullivan kicking up the heat with 50 seconds to go. Going over the step up. All right, lining it up with the backflip ramp. Will she be our 3rd driver to get a consecutive, or will she be the first to have a normal rotation? And she gets a normal rotation. First one to do so. Honestly, that speaks more testaments than getting a consecutive. All right. An awesome little 2-wheel move right there. 20 seconds remain on the clock. Smashing right into the camper. Getting a little slap wheelie off of it. Camper destroyed fully. Jamie Sullivan on the side. And with 5 seconds to go, she is shut off. That is an awesome way to end freestyle. Getting shut off with only 5 seconds to go. So get your scores locked in for Jamie Sullivan. Honestly, a very good run. If we learned anything from her on the Path of Destruction Tour, it is that she is fearless. And you know what? That is a pretty fearless freestyle, if I say so myself. All right. So far, we've had some very good runs. Granted, at the expense of a pretty terrible 2-wheel skills competition. where the best score was an 8.6. All right, 8.05. Y'all are low ball in this, in my opinion. 7.4, 6, 9. I'll revive all y'all. Y'all are getting revived now. All right. All right. We only got 2 scores from chat, from Matthew and Ashton. Your score's an 8.530. 8.530. That will put her in 3rd place. 8.530. Next up, we have Brandon Arthur in Megalodon Stars and Stripes. All right, in 8.1, I will add that really quickly. Because, yeah. That's going to barely change the score. Yeah, your score's an 8.587 now. 8.587. All right, 8.587. Anyways, getting back to business, we are going to have Brandon Arthur and Megalodon coming up next. Running the Stars and Stripes scheme here in Anaheim. All right, nice little slap wheelie from Brandon Arthur. All right, Brandon. I will say Brandon is a very good freestyler. Oh my lord, that wasn't supposed to happen. All right, still somehow getting a save while in the wrong camera mode, though. Oh, y'all are cooked. Yeah, y'all just got a little flattened. Not entirely, I will say. All right, lining it up with the backflip. A minute, 10 seconds left. A very early backflip. And our 3rd backflip save. Oh my lord. What is going on with this backflip ramp? Oh! Yeah, that's a hard hit to the front end. Gonna get a nice little wheelie. All right, huge error, despite the fact that he has a completely broken front end. All right. Getting very difficult to control, it looks like. Nice little sky wheelie for Brandon. All right, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, completely tearing off the drive shaft. All right, yeah, he is done. Get those scores locked in. 9.303. All right. Now, next up is going to be y'all are going to be sleeping on the next freestyle. And by that, I mean y'all are going to think that it's going to be worse than it will be. Oh, I just realized JCB Digatron also had 10 points, so he's going up next instead, actually. All right, get your scores locked in for Brandon Arthur. All right. No way y'all scored Jamie, like, in the 8s and 7s, and then y'all are scoring this in the 9s. Like, that was a good run, but that was not that amazing. Anyways, 9.121, 8.5 plus 9.3. All right, 3 scores. And your score is an 8.839. 8.839. That is the score for Brandon Arthur. All right, we have gone through five drivers. We have just 7 more to go. Only a little bit over halfway, or a little bit under halfway done. No, you are being well. See, not gonna pronounce your name. You, CW Life. That's what I'm gonna call you. All right, you're doing pretty well. All right, JCB Digatron with Tristan England. Let's see how of a run this is. Oh, a nice save right there. Getting a little tricky. All right, nice little moonwalk. Clipping it to get a wheelie. Showing off some of his two-wheel technicality here today. All right. This is a pretty good run so far. Biggy's going to line it up with the backflip ramp. Ooh, under rotation. All right. Clock is paused. All right. It will restart once he hits his next jump. 39 seconds remain. Got shut off by having such a hard hit, it appears. Ooh. Gonna hit the dumpsters. Gonna continue going, though, of course. Nice jump. And a save for Tristan England and JCB Digatron. That's what he was missing from this run. Can he get another? No, he got shut off. Oh, the automatic RII with about 15 seconds remaining will shut him off. All right, that's very annoying. I know Tristan did not want to go out that way. Give him a round of applause. And the camper is untouched, though. All right, we are now halfway through freestyle. We'll get your scores locked in for that run. Score to beat, 9.303, laid down by Fernando Martinez, the very first driver out, who had multiple saves, consecutive backflip. He had everything in his run. All right. All right, your score is a 7.944. 7.944. That is the score for Tristan England. All right. Now, next up, we have Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger Grandma. All right, she got cut up, or just caught up, I guess, on that thing. So we are going to restart now. She is going. All right, she has had a fairly good day, doing fairly well in the overall standings. In the top half of the overall standings, actually. Has 11 points currently. Got 1 point from racing, but 10 from two-wheel skills, where she had an amazing first move and a pretty good second one. All right, Gravedigger Grandma crushing into a camper. Now that's something that I like to see, some old school car crushing. All right, looks like she's starting to get a little bit more comfortable as the run is progressing. Has a little bit over a minute left. Nice long jump right there. All right, and she's lining it up with the 8-pack. Gonna get a perfect rotation. First 8-pack of the night, by the way. All right, 35 seconds remain. Getting some two-wheel moves as well. All right, Kristen Anderson having a fairly good run so far. Still needs that wow moment. I think she almost just nosedived right there. All right, she's getting a little bit more throttling, like a little bit better with her throttle, it appears. Not throttling too much, but not throttling too little. All right, and that is the end of her run. Gonna see, after this save. All right, and that is officially the end of her run. Finishing out with a save. That is a pretty good way to end a run. Get the scores locked in chat. All right, score to beat 9.303 from Fernando Martinez. Christian Anderson with a fairly good run. Really good overall. Had the nice camper smash and an awesome save at the end. So yeah, let's see what you guys thought about that in the comments. All right. A 5.3 because she wouldn't freestyle that good. Respectfully, did you watch her World Finals freestyle run? I have nothing else to say other than did you see her at World Finals? Yeah, I might not count that because if you said it doesn't belong in the same series, maybe, but saying she wouldn't freestyle implies that you're scoring it low because of lack of realism, which I try and drive like I think the driver actually would. Kristen Anderson, I drove like she did at her World Finals freestyle. That's what I did. Yeah, and she's driven like that in the... All right, 8.4, thank you. I will count that. I honestly think that is probably the best score of anyone who has scored so far. 9.1 plus 9.04. Yes, Aiden. All right, 3 scores. Your score is an 8.674 for Kristen Anderson. Not the best score, but not a bad one for sure. So yeah, now we are little over halfway into the freestyle competition. 5 drivers remain. First one of the final 5 is Tim Hall Jr. All right, starting his time off with a little sideways hit. Ooh. What in the world? What? Tim Hall Jr. What was that? All right. Oh. Oh, yeah. Tim is over with a minute exactly remaining. Exactly a minute remains. And he is on the lid. We'll sing when I feel like it. Yeah, Coleman, I don't know why you just were like, you know what, I'm going to be really smart today. All right. Anyways, get your scores locked in chat. Hello, Formula Racing official. All right, your score is a 7.418. 7.418. 7.418. Let me put that in his little thingy. All right. And now down to our final four drivers, where we have Brianna Mahan up next. Wait, who is actually up this? Oh, that's who. All right. Anyways, Brianna Mahan. Let's see what she can do. Starting off with the same jump as Colt Stevens. Basically the exact same way, but I think she slowed down in midair so that she wouldn't have the same outcome. She is kind of stuck. What was that? She got stuck and then just pirouetted her way out of it. So? A minute 30 seconds left. What in the world did I just witness? Brianna Mahan came here to play. She's upset she didn't get any wins on the Path of Destruction series, and now she's here. Oh my lord. I don't even know what to call that. That was awesome. That's what I know what to call it. Alright, 50 seconds remain. Alright, little bit of a hard hit, but she gets a backflip to wheelie. Brianna Mahan is doing very well here. Just jumping over the camper. Alright, an awesome... Oh! And she saves it! I was about to say an awesome crash. But never mind. And she is done with a great save. One final hit. Gonna get some nice air to end out the run. Alright, get those scores locked in. What in the world? That was wild. Yeah, those scores locked in. Only 3 drivers remain. What is a 9-point turtle? What is that? Is it just a 9? We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, 6 scores. Alright, that means your score is a 9.483. 9.483. Assuming that a 9-point turtle is a 9.0. 9.483. That is an awesome job. Oh, 9.441. That is awesome. 9.483. Alright, I have to add that. That is a stellar freestyle score. And now we are down to our final 3 drivers. Next up, we have Adam Anderson in Gravedigger the Legend. Adam Anderson had gotten to round 2 by, quite frankly, just getting a bye round. Then immediately lost. And then proceeded to, just do a slap really and then fail bicycle. And because of how bad skills was, that did very well for him. So consistently been scoring high, and by that I mean getting lucky in skills. Alright, but freestyle is where Adam shines. He has 2 world championships in this competition. Oh, and with just over 30 seconds remaining, he is over. All right, get those scores locked in. I did not see your encore idea for next show. Because yeah. All right, 8 point. Whoa, that's not right. Your score is a 4.038. Only independent trucks that I can do. I can't really have any independent trucks is the problem because there are none on this pack other than there are about 5, I think. I know there are 6. So yeah, I do not believe that would be possible, sadly. All right, anyways, final 2 drivers remain. Coming up next, we have your racing winner, Alex Barden, the Velociraptor. Alex had a fairly good racing run, and then fell over really early in 2-wheel skills. But yeah, fastest time of the show belongs to this man right here. And also, so do the first 12 points. All right. Having a little bit of a side slap. All right, a little bit less than a minute, 30 seconds down. Oh, that's not going to end well for him. Never mind, it will. Tossing off the body of the truck. That is a wild ending. Just over a minute remains. And he has no body because he had an awesome save. Oh! Tried for a consecutive backflip. 50 seconds remained. And now he's done. Alright, get those scores locked in. We only have 1 driver remaining. And then we have our encore. And then we're done. Do I have what? I don't know what pack that is, so I'm gonna assume not. What was I gonna do? Oh, yes. Corey Rummel. Alright. Your score is a 6.150 for Alex Barden. 6.150. And now our final driver up will be Corey Rummel and Bailey Circuit, currently your overall event leader with 23 points. All right, huge sky wheelie to start out his run. Gonna get a backflip. Oh! Backflip on the second hit. That's gonna completely... Yeah, he's done. Less than 15 seconds. Alright, get your scores locked in, but I'm going to set up the encore. Yeah, very annoying, very upsetting for him. Just the landing, he landed way too hard. Whoa! I take great offense to that, Ashton. What are you talking about? Where? There. Your score is a 2.017. 2.017. All right, and now everyone, for your encore, we have, oh my lord, you have the two fighter jet trucks. Oh my lord. All right, we have Todd LeDuc up first in air superiority. All right. And then we have the absolute GOAT, Lindsay Reed in Viper. Lindsay Reed, both these drivers, world freestyle champions. Lindsay Reed, of course, making her return since 2024. Bet y'all weren't expecting Lindsay to be driving this. All right. Now, everyone, who is ready for some simultaneous, or as close as I can get, backflips? All right, Todd LeDuc gonna start us off. All right, a backflip to wheelie. What will Lindsay do? Oh. You know what, though? We're going to get an honorary freestyle from both to continue on this encore. All right, Lindsay Reed. Let's see what she can do. Lindsay Reed going to continue. Definitely fell over way too early than she wanted to on the backflip, so we're giving her a second shot. Oh! Lindsay Reed cartwheeling and saving it. All right, that is an awesome, awesome job. All right, awesome job. And now Todd LeDuc gonna finish us off in air superiority. I am probably going to do a commentary on your Foxborough. But I'm not 100% positive. Oh! Can he save it? Yes, he can! Todd LeDuc, air superiority. Showing his superiority. And gonna crash right into Lindsay Reed. Alright. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed the stream just as much as I did. I had a lot of fun. Please like, subscribe if you haven't, because it helps me out and, makes me happy. With that all said, hope you all have a good day, and goodbye.